This is my fully finished Renault Trafic Van Conversion. I've been converting it over the last 2 years and I finally got to the stage where it's ready to be sold. The van itself is a Renault Trafic. It's got a Rhino roof rack installed, and these windows, before I bought the van, were not there. What we had to do was cut the actual panel out of the van and adhere a window onto the side. I'll link a video on how to do that. So I've already got the bed folded out. These are some modifications I've made. I've got these industrial shelf brackets, 2 in the back and 2 in the front, and that just pulls out like a drawer. I've painted underneath here as well, so that looks a bit neater. This is the bed as it's folded out. My mum has also helped me with these curtains, so they're just made of the same fabric as the bed. They're double lined so they insulate. Same with the big curtain here. That just opens up quite plain and simply. So that's the bed neatly folded away, and as you can see, it fits quite nicely into a 4 or 5 person couch. It's also quite decent because if there's just one of you, that can go on the floor and you've got a single bed. So in the front here, everything is as standard, and you can see the curtain rail there, which closes like so. Underneath the seats there is some storage space. In the bottom corner here though, this is the gas heating system. Now the heater itself is controlled from this control panel. So as you can see, there's an assortment of switches here. Now the one on the left is a 12-volt cigarette lighter inlet. The one on the right is for USB, so charging your phone or any other devices that you need to charge. The bottom switch just does the lights. This here is your thermostat, which controls the gas heater. Under here we have the sink unit. It's got a tap which is powered by a 12-volt pump. And to the right here we have the 2 gas stoves. Both feed off the gas tank that's situated underneath the unit. Put up the table here. The table is actuated by 2 hydraulic pistons. The gas tank which connects both to the heater and to the gas stove. Also underneath this unit there is 2 tanks for the water. One is for the wastewater, which runs off the drain, and the other runs cold water into the tap. Now the cupboards here have 3 shelves, each with equal amount of space, and the bottom is for larger objects, and this is where the power runs in. One of the first things I did have to do with the van was to prepare it for the cold, and to do that I applied several different layerings of insulation and soundproofing. Underneath, on the bare metal of the van, there's a dodo mat, which is a soundproofing material. Over the top of that there's a thermofoam. There's a double-sided foil bubble wrap layer. On the inside of the van, everything is carpeted, which makes it much more comfortable looking and adds an extra barrier of heat. Make sure that when you're buying the carpet, it's the stretchy fabric type, otherwise it's very difficult to form around wheel arches. One of the big projects I had to do in this van was to remove the bulkhead. That was removed. We're left with gaps. So we had a gap running up this side, a gap on the top, and a gap down the back side, which is covered right now. I've cut plywood to shape. I've covered it with felt and then attached it to the sides, which actually gives it quite a good finish. Under the floor there's a dodo mat layer, there's a thermofoil layer, there is a double foil bubble wrap layer, and then there's the actual lino itself, as well as some plywood. And I've also created this tread plate, which I cut a stencil out of paper, then transferred it onto the metal and cut it to shape. So once I fit in my van, I had a bit of an overhang, and then decided the best thing to do with that was to bash it into shape. So I've kind of bashed this curve round, and it stops it from being sharp, and it's quite good for protecting the carpet from getting muddy and preventing the lino from peeling up. So if we remove this cushion, then this one lifts up. Lift up the bed. Now underneath the bed we have this 12-volt battery. It's 230 amp hours, so it's a bit of a beast. It weighs about 60 kilos, and I've got it strapped down with bungees to the floor, which is screwed directly into the plywood. And at the back here, I've got a battery guard, which prevents it from discharging below a certain voltage. Now under here there is a solar charge controller, and it's working at the moment. 1 amp charge is going into it, and the battery voltage is currently sitting at 13.7 volts. When the battery is fully charged, the circuit will cut itself out and will no longer charge the battery, which also protects from overcharging. I want to show you the solar panel which comes up to the roof. It's got two outputs here, an input and output, and then it's just tied down onto the roof. And that gets a pretty decent charge in the summertime. When the sun's actually out, you can always use the electrical hookup, which is on the side of the vehicle, and hook it up again underneath the bed, comes out to the two sockets. So that's the second tour of the van after more work's been done to it, and it's actually very comfortable. It also looks absolutely smashing. Let me know if you liked it, and if maybe you've got a van of your own, ask me some questions. I've done the whole process. Do not hesitate to ask me below. And that's it for me, so please comment, like, share and subscribe.